It's a double header on Friday in the IPL, and we're going to build up to those games on ESPNcricinfo Match Day T20. It starts with Bangalore against Mumbai. I've got Ajit Agarkar and Gaurav Kalra with me to look ahead to that. Breaking news is, before anything, that Virat Kohli is indeed back. Ajit, just your thoughts. 2 losses for Bangalore and the 1 win. They couldn't have asked for Virat Kohli to come back any sooner.
Yeah, I think they're probably the team that's been most affected by the injuries because it's been to their key players. You know, De Villiers missed a couple of games, Rahul's out of the tournament, and Virat Kohli's been missing the 3 games, so they couldn't have asked for it sooner. So, and you know, he is their main player with De Villiers. It'll make a huge difference to their team.
Yes. Big for Virat Kohli as well. Remember, didn't have a great series against Australia, not a lot of runs behind him, then misses a test match with injury, comes into a team which is struggling. He's got to lead them, and he's got last year's record weighing on his shoulders. There's all these sort of things, but the good thing is it's coming in Bangalore, which is where he's done well traditionally in the past, and I'm sure he will enjoy filling that stadium up. That will come out and cheer for him.
Yeah, well, does any one player make so much of a difference as Virat Kohli does? I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about even after his first game. Let's move to our contests and our key numbers in that game between Bangalore and Mumbai. 2 high-profile team. Match day match point number 1 is what we've got for you, and this is a battle that I'm not sure too many of you might have noticed. Krunal Pandya against AB de Villiers, and we've shown you Krunal in that photograph because the Pandya actually has the more of the upper hand in this contest. 7 runs of 10 balls and 2 dismissals, so effectively dismissed AB both games. There was 1 stumping and 1 catch in the outfield from last year. Let's just go to that. 45 seconds for you, Ajit Agarkar, to tell me what Krunal Pandya has discovered that the rest of the world over the years has struggled to. Off you go.
Well, I don't think Krunal Pandya would have thought that he's part of our first match point. But look, I mean, sometimes it happens. You just bowl well to a certain batter. Maybe the situation at that point was, where he got, again, left arm spinner, ball spinning away from AB de Villiers. Look, I don't think there's anything different that he would have done. We'll have to wait and see if we can repeat that, because Mumbai Indians will be absolutely delighted if we can repeat those numbers, because De Villiers with Kohli is the key to RCB's batting. He's been in better form this year, so the confidence is higher from Krunal Pandya, and like I said, Mumbai would be hoping he does it again.
Well, he certainly bowled well for them. Again, Agarkar is perfectly on cue when it comes to his timing. Gaurav Kalra, and most Indian bowlers would retire happily on the day they could say AB de Villiers is my bunny. Krunal Pandya, who started this IPL well, just your thoughts on what makes him click as what now looks to be a fairly mainstay in the Mumbai Indians team.
Yes, I'm not sure what those 2 dismissals were, whether they were actually delightful pieces of spin bowling, or whether they were De Villiers going for him and getting caught on the fence. That aside, I think obviously, I think De Villiers will come into this game believing he can take on anyone, not that he would not into any other game, but having had the success he did in the first game, immediately hitting his straps after that injury break. Like Ajit said, if Krunal Pandya can continue this sort of run against De Villiers, great. But I think on home patch, he's going to be a major factor in this game.
Okay, well, we've got some time. Maybe we'll show you just a thing or two on how ABD tees off. This is something we've got for you, just to show you from our social as to how we can explain that. Now, overs 1 to 15, that's how ABD goes for it. 31 of 28, RCB 71 for 4. Over 16 to 20, 58 for AB de Villiers. RCB smashed 77. You can see the strike rates of ABD in comparison to the rest. 193.48 against 74. But from the contest that we've shown you, when Krunal Pandya comes in, be sure AB de Villiers will be looking to play it out for a single and get to the other end. Right, let's move to match day match point number 2. We'll see how that contest goes, but match day match point number 2 is Malinga being the bogey man, or the bogey team. Bangalore is his bogey team. Now, Lasith Malinga's got many a batting lineup in a tussle, but somehow against RCB, those numbers don't quite stand up. Let's have a look at some of them before I throw it to a fellow fast bowler to my left. At Chinnaswamy Stadium, he's got a shocking economy rate of under 8. Ajit Agarkar, an average of 31. for him it's his worst. So let's put that in perspective. When Malinga goes at 8, you can imagine what some of the other bowlers might go at. Versus Bangalore, 13 wickets at an average of 36, and he's conceded 71 or 42 to de Villiers, so he'll be licking his lips when Lasith Malinga comes on, but running into a shell when Krunal Pandya gets the ball. Ajit Agarkar, 45 seconds for you to just tell me what about Lasith Malinga seems to be so kind to RCB. Off you go.
Well, I mean, under 8, I think most people would take that economy. Yeah, maybe his strike rate's a little bit different to other venues, but you've got to remember it's one of the hardest, if not the hardest pitch to bowl on with the conditions at that ground. It is a high scoring round. It is very difficult. You come up against a Chris Gayle, a Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers, those sorts of players. Doesn't matter which bowler in the world is bowling to them, they are going to find it difficult. And in spite of that, Malinga's, I think under 8 is still respectable. Maybe he'd like to get a few more wickets, because every time he does that, it puts Mumbai in a really strong position up front. So no, I don't think it's bad by any stretch, but it is a tough ground for any bowler. I think Malinga would want to take a few wickets.
Well, he's just made a century of his own, having played 100 games, that last one against Sunrisers in the IPL for Sri Lankan paceman. Let's have a look at specific batsmen that he might find hard to bowl to. It's not just AB de Villiers on that list, but Shane Watson as well, who strikes at 192 against Lasith Malinga and 169 the strike rate for AB de Villiers. So he's not just got one but two internationally acclaimed batsmen who go after him. Is he still the same Lasith Malinga is a question we ask every year, Gaurav Kalra. We've seen a little bit of evidence from the games that he's brought back. He certainly brings more to this Mumbai attack. But against Bangalore, what's the challenge? 45 seconds to you.
Well, like the bowler said, clearly the challenge is going to be the conditions and the contours of the ground. 1 for 30 in the last game, and I think now it's not just a Malinga bowling attack. There is already Jasprit Bumrah, who had a really good game, and then they bowl well around him. The Pandya brothers have been doing a good job. Harbhajan was a standout the other night with the new ball. So I think having an attack of this kind means that the pressure isn't only on Malinga, and even if he has a bad day, Mumbai have options to go back to. So I think they're in good shape.
I mean, having seen him a little bit, the game against KKR, I think he's bowling a lot better than he started last season. I think last season it felt like he was a little bit slower, and he seems, obviously because he's played a bit of cricket for Sri Lanka, that's helped him get into sort of bowling form or bowling fitness.
Last game for Sri Lanka, Ajit, he got a hat-trick.
And you can see it. I mean, he's had enough bowling before coming to the IPL, which is a good sign.
Well, it's now time to ask Ajit Agarkar to pick through his 11s. It takes us to match day, match point number 3, as Mr. Agarkar will now tell us his 11. I think there might be one change at least for RCB. Let's see if Ajit has picked Virat Kohli in his team. Does he walk straight in, or will he have to earn his place in that RCB 11? Right at the top, Ajit, would you also go with that opening pair in Kohli and Watson? You've stayed with Vishnu Vinod and left out Mandeep Singh, and you've also stayed with the 2 overseas fast bowlers. Your thoughts to take me through that 45 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough choice to pick Virat, but we'll give him a go. No, I think Vishnu Vinod will probably come lower down the order. I think it'll be AB de Villiers and Kedar Jadhav before him for sure. Look, Virat Kohli's got to open, and I think Watson will stay up top because you want to make use of all your best batters up front, and it's a good pitch, and you're facing a really good attack, which makes it important. There might be a floater or two, in Vishnu Vinod if the situation demands, but it's a team which is, it doesn't on paper feel the strongest, but last time they played on a pitch which gripped a little bit.
Yes.
If they can keep those sorts of conditions, their bowling then comes into play. But Virat Kohli's return is the headline for them.
Perhaps just from an outsider's perspective, one feels there are too many bowling options available. Maybe to Bangalore. At that, they have 2 left-arm spinners, then they have Watson and Stuart Binney as the all-round options, then the 2 overseas fast bowling options. Maybe if I'm in the Bangalore camp, I'm thinking, why not just stay invested in Chris Gayle for a little bit and leave out one of my overseas bowling options, that obviously is Stan Lake, and look at it that way. Perhaps that formula, because it has worked for them in the past, is worth thinking about for a little while.
The problem with that is I don't think they have a good enough Indian seamer to replace their overseas seamer at this point. You need a reasonably balanced attack, which they are looking for at this point. I mean, otherwise, to leave Chris Gayle out, must be a tough decision.
Yeah, maybe they need Stuart Binnie to step up to it. He's, of course, all eyes on him as the seam bowling all-rounder. Let's see Mumbai's 11 that Ajit Agarkar has picked, and has he made a change from the team that won 2 consecutive home games at the Wankhede Stadium? It looks like he does not. So it looks Mitchell McClanagan, in spite of a bad game in the bad couple of games, keeps his place ahead of Mitch Johnson, who Brad Hogg has been creating a bit of a revolt to start bringing back into the team for, and Jasprit Bumrah, Lasith Malinga will share pace bowling responsibilities with him. 45 seconds, Ajit. Mumbai, obviously, you don't think should change anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, they didn't change after their second game. They retained McClanagan. Yeah, he went for a few again, got an important wicket of Shikhar Dhawan. I mean, sometimes you look at those things in the context of T20 cricket, where a bowler can make an impact. It's a tough ground to defend on, Mumbai, or rather bowl on. So, yeah, probably if it's not broke, why would you try and fix it? I mean, Rohit Sharma said at the toss, we want to give guys a longer go, and they've won the game. So they've, there's not that's gone wrong with that game. Yes, they would like McClanagan to get back to better form. But till you're winning, I think you can just hedge your bets a little bit and maybe give the guy who's done well for you before a little bit longer rope.
Is Butler on notice, Ajit?
It must be close. I mean, I don't know for how long they can keep Lendl Simmons out, especially because they have Parthiv Patel who takes the gloves anyway. Butler will have to get runs quickly, because I am surprised they've started without Lendl Simmons, but it's more because of the balance of the team that they've left Lendl Simmons out, because he's done really well for him and can be explosive.
Many thanks, Ajit Agarkar. Gaurav Kalra. See how that goes. It is, of course, at the Chinnaswamy Stadium, the early kickoff on Friday.